In this episode of The Big Story, a young teacher who once worked at the office of the Prime Minister suddenly ends up in a wheelchair, fighting episodes of pain.
Just thinking about the pain, I actually feel like I'm in pain.
She's now jobless but has 2 children to support, and the medical bills just keep piling.
Without outside help at this point, I can't foresee me living, recovering.
The young teacher is hopeful that she'll be able to resume doing what she does best, help to positively influence the next generation.
I just want the opportunity to just get back to that. If it is possible, that's all I want.
Stay with us as we go beyond the sound bites and the headlines on this, The Big Story. At 37 years old, Delene Neale was the youngest person at a nursing home in Linstead, St. Catherine, when the Beacon visited her on Mother's Day weekend. At that time, she was also the only one crying out in pain. Take a look at what happened on one occasion when she tried to go onto a bed.
Just take time. Just take time.
That which you just saw is called spasticity, which is an abnormal muscle tightness, and which Neale said is painful. And it is so unpredictable, there is no set number of times that it may happen throughout the day.
The pain, to this day, when I think about the pain, just thinking about the pain, I actually feel like I'm in pain, whether or not I'm in pain. I'm afraid to move in certain positions. And it's not that it is an unwarranted fear. It's just not a phobia, because it is, in fact, very, very painful.
So where do you feel the pain?
Pain in my arms, in my legs, and mostly in my abdomen and my back.
How long does it last?
Some of the episodes can last like 30 to 45 minutes, but there are times when they are just one behind the other. They just keep coming and coming and coming, and then I have to figure out what might be causing them, and in figuring what to cause them, it causes a bit of panic, and maybe if I'm panicking, they stay longer and so on.
The painful episode, or spasticity, is a symptom of transverse myelitis, the disease with which Neale was diagnosed in November 2023 after being examined at the University Hospital of the West Indies.
Transverse myelitis, which is basically numbness, weakness, paralysis that occurs as a result of inflammation in the spine.
The disease has taken a devastating toll on Neale's life, leaving her in a wheelchair, unable to continue her job as a teacher and to take care of herself and her 2 children.
I have not been able to work. I have not been able to go on the job. Only recently I've been able to hold a rag to probably wipe my face or so on. I am not able to walk for more than a couple steps without supervision, because the wheelchair always has to be behind me in case one of the episodes come on. Sometimes I'm not able to feed myself. Sometimes I'm not able to do any kind of hygienic care for myself. One of the things I miss the most, though, is I'm not able to comb my daughter's hair. Those things matter, like I'm not able to hold a pen.
Neale, who hails from the farming community of Guys Hill in St. Catherine, attended Guys Hill Primary School and Mount Nebo Primary. She later spent a relatively short time at Guys Hill High School before moving to Dintle Technical High. After that, she enrolled in the 6th form program at St. Mary High School. Banking on education as a means of social progress, Neale went on to attain a first degree in media and communication at Carrimack, University of the West Indies.
The checkups at the hospital are every 3 months. But private doctor, I have to go there every 6 weeks at least to change the catheter. And that can cost anywhere between $8,500 or $10,000, sorry, to $15,000. It depends on where I am and which doctor I'm going to. So for example, when I was in Orchard, it could cost me $15,000. I've come back to this side now, so I've spent like $9,000, $10,000 for the catheter change and for the checkups.
And the hospital is linked to the hospital, right?
The hospital is linked to the hospital for physiotherapy, but I am an outpatient at the neurological clinic at the University of the West Indies.
This must have taken a financial toll on you. Tell me a bit about that.
Yes, it has taken a financial toll because all of the money that I had, because I do not have health insurance because I had resigned from my job. I do not have health insurance. In addition to that, I have critical illness with one of the insurance agencies. However, this illness, because of its rarity and because a lot of people would not have even have known about it, is not covered under critical illness. And so I've got no benefit from that. The hospital fees, the staying on ward, the MRIs, the CT scans, the blood tests, all of those things, they're extremely costly. In addition to that, when I have to go for physical therapy, when I have to go for catheter change, I do not benefit any way significantly from the NHF. And so my medication can cost up to $60,000, $70,000 a month. And that's the bottom end of the medication. So, it is indeed costly. And in addition to that, life doesn't stop going. So I still have any bills that I had to pay prior to being ill. They are still existing. Thankfully, though, where I live, I live, my church is the owner of the property. And so they have given me reprieve from paying rent. That is the only bill I do not have to worry about. But everything else, in addition to my children going to school and so on. Of course, I would be lying if I said that people didn't pitch in. Everybody is doing what they can, but you can imagine that it can be overwhelming for a family to have this new additional thing to take on. And so it has indeed taken a very bad toll on everybody's finances.
Seems to me as though you're spending the millions.
The debt with the hospital, with the rehab facility and so on, it is way past millions. Had it not taken such a bad financial toll, I don't think I would even be talking about this publicly, because you try to put in safety nets and to do things to put preparation in place so that you do not have to rely heavily on anybody, especially those outside of your circle, for assistance and for your very existence and for your very survival. But the truth is, without outside help at this point, I can't foresee me living, recovering in a way that is suitable for a human being and for somebody who has made so much contribution to just people in general. Being a teacher, every day I tried my best to ensure that I do what I believe God has called me to do, to make a significant change and to impact the lives of children, or to have an impact on the lives of children in a positive way, to nurture them into being valuable citizens of the world and of their country. And so I just want the opportunity to just get back to that. If it is possible, that's all I want, just to get the opportunity to get back to that and to live a dignified life.
Did you at any point foresee that you, at this young age, would have been affected by this type of illness?
No. And it's funny because I have never been the person, especially in the last 5 years, to be drinking a lot of sugar, to be having not exercising and all of those things. And so I couldn't foresee this. The last thing I thought about, let me go do a pap smear, because cervical cancer is something that can wipe out somebody at a young age. And I actually did the pap smear the same Monday that I went for the numbness and so on. And I said to the doctor, could you check my breast, because I'm not sure if I know what to do, and teach me what to do so that I know, because I don't want to be afflicted by cancer. And so cancer was the thing that was on my mind. It never dawned on me that there's something called transverse myelitis. Sometimes, it's painful for me to even be on my phone, to talk to people and to communicate with them, because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, how are you feeling today?" The truth is that sometimes I don't know how I'm feeling today, because between the mental toll that it takes on me and the physical toll that it takes on my body, I don't know how I'm feeling sometimes. And so sometimes, because I don't have any good news to give anybody, or the person might call and say it, and I say, "Oh, I'm good enough," and within that same phone call, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes, I will have to say, I have to hang up, because I'm having one of those episodes and I'm crying or I'm bawling. And for some people, it's very traumatic. So I could not have foreseen this. In fact, last year, when I buried my dad, I was thinking about, all right, I'm not contributing to daddy anymore. Let me put this away so that, my daughter is going to go to college, and let me see if I can start paying NHD for her, so that in a little while she and I can come together and try to buy a property. Those were the plans I have. How do I get her a car? Because I'm totally afraid to drive, but she's more of one of those courageous persons. How do I get her to learn to drive now, so that she can transport herself? And those were the dreams I had, and I was putting those things in place. I was really trying to, and all of those finances, all of those things would have been wiped out in less than 7 months, because illness like this, any illness at all for that matter, once it's not the common flu, can be quite expensive.
What's the biggest lesson that you have learned from this experience?
The biggest lesson I've learned from this experience is that I am not an island, and I can't do everything alone. I think I've learned several lessons. Another lesson that I've learned is that anything that we think we can do without God, we will not be able to do. This song, "Can't Even Walk Without You Holding My Hand," it has a whole new meaning for me. I remember there's this gentleman at my church that used to sing it, and I used to be like, "Lord, every Sunday I must sing this song." I don't mind hearing it 24/7 now, because I know that nothing at all that we do without God can be done.
After completing university, Neale did different jobs, including one as a customer service rep with Columbus Communications. She also worked in communications at the Office of the Prime Minister, serving during the Prime Ministership of Portia Simpson Miller and Andrew Holness. But Neale, like her mother, was a teacher at heart. She taught mainly English language, English literature, and communications studies. The schools where Neale taught are Guys Hill High, Taki High, St. Mary Technical High, and St. Mary High. She was weeks into her second stint at St. Mary High School when, in October 2023, she started feeling a tingling sensation, which she, at first, did not think was anything serious.
Between October 9 and October 31 is where I would have experienced some little symptoms, nothing significant, nothing that anybody would be overly concerned about. The first one being a little bit of tingling in one of my toes. I can't remember which foot it is now, if it was the right or the left. I attributed it to maybe my shoes, and so I changed my shoes. One morning I woke up and one of my eye wasn't feeling very well. Like, it felt as though it just felt a little painful when I moved it, and then it resolved itself. So I didn't take it for anything so much. But then within 1 week of being at school, and then we would have gone off on midterm break, which would have been the Heroes Weekend. On the Monday, I just wasn't feeling well, and I decided that I was going to go to the doctor, and I actually went to the doctor.
The first two doctors that Neale visited apparently did not consider her situation to be serious. It was the third one that thought her complaint warranted special medical examinations that resulted in her being diagnosed with transverse myelitis.
Initially, I was very optimistic, because what the doctors told me, the neurologist told me, "Oh, you'll be walking in no time." That's what they said to me, and I fully believed it, because if anybody who said anything otherwise, I said I was not going to hold on to it. I was not going to take on anything negative. I don't want to. Even though I wasn't able to do anything, I wasn't even able to move my toe. I wasn't able to pass urine or anything, because I had to get a catheter. I still wear a catheter to this day. But I did not think, based on what the doctors were saying, the neurologists were saying, that it would have been something this so much of a roller coaster. I did not think it would be this much of a roller coaster because every day is so unpredictable. The truth is that when they told me that I would walk again, I was so determined in my mind to walk again that I focused so much on that I did not think about all the other things that could possibly happen. It's not until they started happening that I actually started to go on Google and realize that I didn't have half of the information about this illness, right? I did not know anything at all about the illness. I didn't know, for example, that I would have muscle contractions that were so painful. I didn't know that the disease also had things like spasticity, or what they describe as a TM hug, which is a very, very tight contraction that occurs in the abdomen. And it can also go in the arms and in the legs.
Neale has lived in different locations and facilities since she fell ill. When the Beacon visited her, she was spending the Mother's Day weekend at a nursing home in Linstead, St. Catherine. Her caregiver at the time said her story was touching, especially considering that she's a young person. Although you have known her just for a short period of time, how does it feel looking after her?
It's all right, because she is very loving and humble young lady. She don't give any problem. Easy going. Yeah.
Is she the youngest person you ever dealt with, or?
Yeah, she's the youngest ever.
And how does it feel seeing a young person come in here like this?
Oh my, it break my heart. When first she called me on the phone and explained and tell me that she's a young person, 37 years old, then my heart just really goes out for her. So I asked her if she wanted me to come for her and bring her to church, and then she could come here. And then she said, okay, because she was looking for a nursing home.
In addition to that, though, my mother was my primary caregiver. No, my mother is a retired teacher, and she has her own health challenges. And so you can imagine having your daughter, young daughter, 37, because I'm not that old, who should, be rendering assistance to you at this time and, providing you with some reprieve or some relief. You have to care for her when she needs to use the restroom. You have to be cleaning her afterwards and ensuring that she doesn't fall. And you have to be constantly watching her.
How old are your children and how are they reacting?
The children, the older one is 17 going on 18. And the younger one is 11 going on 12. So he just completed PEP and she's just completing her first year of college. Their reactions are different. The daughter, who is the older one, she is more of a recluse, so she doesn't really express how she's feeling. My son is more, he will speak out more if he's upset or he's angry, so he will vocalize his feelings. He will vocalize his feelings through anger. So if he's upset about something, that is the time that I will hear some of how he feels. But both of them, in their own way, I know they are trying to cope as best as they can, and I'm so very proud of them because they are still going to school, completing tasks, and so far, I think they are trying their best to be optimistic for me as well, which is always a good thing, and they help me out as much as they can, especially the daughter who only gets to visit sometimes.
What's the likelihood of you being fully recovered? What are the medical personnel saying?
Medical personnel are still learning about this disease. As I said, it's a rare autoimmune disease. They don't know particularly what caused mine. It can be caused by a number of things. They still have not found out what caused mine because they're saying that it can be caused by a virus. What they're saying is that the virus that caused mine, they don't know. But my body still thinks that the virus is there. And my spine looks like the virus, and so my body's attacking my spine. The only thing they have said that they can do is to give me steroids to prevent my body from attacking my spine, my immune system from attacking my spine. Like I said, I don't have a lot of information, so most of what I know is from the internet. Prognosis, some people might be fully recovered, some people might not recover at all, and some people might about midway recover. I don't know which category I fall in because, like I said, the neurologists have not given me a lot of information. So I don't know if we're on the spine, the injury is one of the ones that would get better fully. I don't know if it is one of those that will get better partially. I do know, though, that I have made a lot of improvements because, like I said, I couldn't move my toes, I couldn't move my feet or anything, and I'm able to do that now. So I know that I am not totally gone, but I don't know what recovery is. And the prognosis, again, based on what I read on the internet, is that it can take up to 2 years. And then I've also met people online who has this condition who 6 years in, 10 years in, 15 years in, they are still experiencing some of the things that I'm experiencing today. So the prognosis on the medical side is all of that. I choose to be a lunatic. I choose to be somebody who doesn't listen to most of that, doesn't listen to it at all, and to choose to believe that I'll make a full recovery.
And if Neale never gets a chance to return to the classroom or to do the other great things that she enjoyed doing, she's hoping that the impact she already made will withstand the test of time.
I want to be remembered as the person who believed in others when they couldn't believe in themselves. I want to be remembered as the person who would give their last to ensure that somebody else would have a smile for a day.
Reporting from Linstead in St. Catherine for the Jamaica Beacon, I'm Horace Mills. For more information about Neale, check out the description that accompanies this story or the comments section below.